Hello, friends. My name is Shannon, and I'm going to be talking today about a cultural interview that I did with Mr. Samir Katerji. We met outside of Starbucks and had coffee while we had our conversation. You may have seen Samir in Salvation Army. If you ever go there in Frederick, he is the store manager there. Also, Samir has given speeches at the Smithsonian Museum about Syrian history. And also, if you have read the book, The Architecture and Liturgy of the Bema in the 4th to 6th century Syrian churches by Emma Loosely, a special thank you is given to Samir because he served as a translator and also a guide for a lot of the information on some of the ancient churches in Syria. In addition to all of that, Samir is an architect in Syria, so one of his open-air theater in Citadel of Aleppo. This is an outdoor theater that is used and plays in other events. Seats about 4,500. Samir is from Aleppo, Syria, which is very rich in traditions and history. Samir and I talked about staple foods. Kibbeh is very popular food. It's described as a kind of meatloaf. We described traditional clothing and modern day clothing. Now, modern day clothing would be a lot like we see here in the US. It's much more relaxed. Traditionally, men wore sirwal, which are pants that we would describe as MC Hammer pants. These pants are actually crafted this way because when men are climbing hills or outside doing work, it gives them freedom of movement and also ventilation. Women in older times wore scarves over their heads. Not so much today, but you do still see it. And the Muslim people wear hijabs. And the more covered Muslim people are, the more radical they are. Aleppo is in a crossroad of a lot of countries, so there's a lot of religions there, Jewish, atheist, Christian. There's a lot of immigrants, so it's kind of mixed like the U.S. is now. Some greetings is a very ancient Arabic word, and it is marhaba. It translates as love for you. Another greeting is salam, which means peace upon you. Men and women generally don't touch, especially if they're married, so there's no hugging or handshaking or anything like that. The man is typically the breadwinner in Syria, and the firstborn son holds a very special role in the family. Muslim families, Muslim men can have up to 4 wives, so one of their main purposes in their religion is procreation. Today, men and women can be pretty much whatever they want, doctors, lawyers, but there are still some establishments where only men go or only women go. One interesting thing that I found about Syria is the first recording alphabetical letter and music note in history trace back to Syria. After speaking with Samir, I could see that modern day Syria was a lot like life in the US. I determined that at one point it was a collectivist culture, I think, like a lot of places were, and today it's more individualistic. But I really enjoyed doing this interview with Samir. I always enjoy talking with Samir, and I really enjoyed seeing the light in his eyes and hear the warmth in his voice when he spoke about his country. You can tell that he has a lot of love for his country, and I did get a lot of information. So hopefully you picked up on some of that, and thank you for watching.